This is Alina Vandenberghe. I'm co-founder and co-CEO at Chili Piper, and I'm here with Vivek, who's Chief Growth Officer at SwiftShift, and we're going to talk about how marketing and sales can work better together to leverage the power of customer marketing and metrics that align them to just be more effective leaders. What's the difference between a CMO and a growth officer?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. In my opinion, the major difference is in CMO role, you are just pretty much tightly just doing the marketing stuff. In CGO role, you expand that role into a little bit on strategy, a little bit on operations, and you don't have a sales team. So it's almost a model where it's either product-led or it's operationally driven. For example, in our case, because this product is less, but it's more about hiring people, the company I work, that's how we grow. And so that is the extension of marketing beyond strategy and operations. Along with that, that's when you focus on the growth. That's the CGO role.
If you look at differences between a CMO and a CRO, since they're very tightly connected, how would you look at defining them both?
If you ask me, like a CMO can be a VP marketing can be a CRO. That's my belief, first of all, because if it's a product-led motion, if there's no sales team, I think CMO or somebody from marketing is equally capable of building that department or handling it. But if you have to have a sales-led motion, and VP of marketing generally do not have experience managing sales reps. They do have experience managing SDRs a lot of time, but not the AEs. And in that case, I would recommend that it is generally the case is you bring in a sales leader doing the CRO work. And that's kind of the biggest difference, I would say. So it depends what is company's model of go-to-market. Is it like product-led versus sales-led?
So to some extent, the marketer is in charge of leads generation, but it's in charge of sales at scale. And then sales has the benefit of using personalization. The question is, how do you motivate the individual account executives and SDRs to do their job better? And that's job fitted for a specific kind of leader, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it is just marketing jobs for leads. Sales is also generating leads. Who's saying sales is not generating? And the real thing is alignment. Alignment in terms of how you set up your teams, like between sales and marketing. What is the handoff point? Is it the lead as the key success metric, or is it a qualified opportunity? Mm-hmm. So I think, and I am always a believer of the latter, which is, every marketing department has to have success metric as qualified pipeline. And in that case, you have a luxury of having SDR either ways because it doesn't matter anymore because there is no fight. Because the fight is only when you talk about just leads. Mm-hmm. When you talk about qualified opportunities, which is what salespeople want, then it's all gone. There's no misalignment. Mm-hmm. So I think then in that case, you almost have to look through what your workforce capacity looks like and stage of the company. If the sales leader can manage and is capable of handling 10, 20 reps, that's great. They don't necessarily have to take the burden of SDRs if the marketing team is slim, but you can do more, even strategy where SDRs can become part of a marketing team and still build qualified pipelines. So that's how I would say.
It's true. It's very hard to define where sales starts and ends and where marketing starts and ends.
My favorite quote that I created that sales and marketing in B2B world are not just brother and sister, they are twin brother and sister. That's how close they have to be, like almost born on the same day, just a few seconds apart.
How do you incentivize as a co-founder and the CEO for marketing and sales teams to work well together? What metrics should they align on?
Yeah, I run my teams pretty much on two metrics, what I call it operating metrics versus success metric. So operating metrics are your metrics that you can measure on a weekly basis, monthly basis. And this is what you will look at: qualified lead or high intent lead, people who are hand raised or requesting demos. But that gives you the pulse of where your activities are heading. So that's like operational metrics. You have to do every day that operation as a marketing team, and that's what you are measured on: increasing organic traffic, getting more backlinks, getting more impression on social media. So that's your operating metrics, or getting more email opens. And then the success metric need to be always aligned with what is the handover point to sales, which is the qualified pipeline or the qualified opportunity. And that's how I put it. So there's operating metric, success metric, and success metric is the qualified pipeline, especially in B2B world. You pass it on to sales, and that's how you create the right metrics. You go for only one success metric as a team.
Pipeline is important. How do you incentivize pipeline metrics when it comes to customer marketing?
Customer marketing, a lot of people, first of all, forget that there is cross-sell and expansion. There's almost, in startups, always a focus on new. And it's kind of crazy because I've heard so many companies who will do a lot of events and direct mail, gifting campaigns, and just focus on new prospects rather than focus on their existing customers. So, which is kind of like a big miss. Like, you should be always focusing on existing customers. You should be segmenting customers where you have opportunity for upsell and cross-sell. Engage with them at larger scales through these events, through gifting campaigns, even after you've acquired them, so that you can scale it, because there's retention is cheaper than acquisition, and that makes it the customer marketing is actually more important, especially now as we're entering into the next year, than acquisition. That's what I would say. So it's a matter of understanding where your revenue coming from, and of course utilizing the relationship that you have instead of finding and building new relationships.